The question that we're all wondering, now that AI got buffed and they gave us loads of passive bonuses and crew abilities when you play with AI, does that make them better than playing with real people? Well, here's my 2 cents. So first and foremost, let's just start with the AI. The AI themselves, they have not changed in any meaningful way, and what I mean by that is, their pathing, their behavior, what have you. For the most part, they're still the same old dumb AI that you've always been playing with, and that will probably never change. But as of right now, they're literal tanks on the battlefield. If, they had no cannons, I guess, but they can survive in the most bullshit situations, and between the three of them, they can keep on reviving each other if one of them goes down. Just as before, they are the ultimate aggro drawing machines, taking most of the attention of the enemies and able to survive their onslaught as well. They've been given some buffs so that they can't get stun locked by things like SWAT van turrets, and they also now have a short immunity to damage, unless they change that, so they can't take constant damage if they're being continually shot at. All in all, the AI, they might be as dumb as they were before, but now they're dumb and they're nearly invulnerable. It's quite an interesting combo. I do exaggerate a little bit though, if you do leave them out in the open, they'll still die pretty fast since, they'll get shot at just about everything. So, while they are tanky, you do kind of need to make sure that you always call on the AI to follow you, and make sure they stay in relatively safe spots so they don't get shot from everything, and yeah, you can also pick them up relatively easy. So, that right there is really just the main plus of having AI, their tankiness and their ability to draw aggro away from you. If you're a Mastermind Joker user, you can even add more people to your little army, which is what I'm doing right now in this gameplay. Jokers got nerfed a little bit, but they're still really good, so there's no point in not using them for the extra survivability. Now, the main problem with the AI is they can't really do anything other than exist. They draw enemy fire and they'll generally follow you around, but they can't do objectives, and they also don't have the combat prowess to match their defense. So, if you need to do an objective, that means that you're relying completely on yourself to do everything that needs to be done to progress a mission, which can sometimes be extremely brutal without help. Off the top of my head, Big Bank is the most solo, unfriendly mission of the entire game. The computers, you have to hit every one because you have no idea which freaking computer it is. There's a lot of missions in this game where they're just not very solo friendly. A lot of it is, just taking it slow, making sure you don't expose yourself in bad positions. But in general, there are going to be a lot of situations that you can't control, and you won't be able to rely solely on the AI just being tanky for you. Fixing drills, collecting important mission items, whatever it may be, you'll probably find yourself in situations that can't be reasonably done without sacrificing yourself sometimes. And there's nothing you can really do. Another one of the huge downsides of playing with AI is that they'll increase the spawn rate quite substantially. And when I say they, I mean the game, but you get what I mean. On certain missions in certain parts of a map, that might not be an issue, but since the AI don't really have the ability to thin out enemies at all, pretty much all the killing is gonna be on your shoulders. Again, if you play smart, you can get around this, but overall, there's definitely situations where you're just completely overrun by enemies, and no amount of AI tanking will save you. Some people have mentioned that there are some weapon setups that really work for AI, but honestly, I haven't really seen them prove to me that they're capable of being too terribly useful in that regard. I know for this gameplay in particular, I just gave them all Thanatos snipers, and it didn't really seem to make much of a difference. I've tried a few other weapons too, but for the most part, I don't really see a huge difference. That's just me. It may change in the future. So that's just the biggest downside of playing solo with the AI, It means you have to run probably the most overpowered weapons that you can get your hands on. You can't just roll with anything willy-nilly, A few times I just decided, I'm just gonna bring an assault rifle, right? Nope, it's not gonna work. So you have to kill hordes of enemies by yourself really quickly, and you also have to manage your ammo well, and still be able to deal with any situation that you may come across, whether it's dealing with Captain Winters or taking the snipers out far away. So you need something long range, you need some AoE, you need a lot of different things on your person. Pretty much any situation that you'll run into in a mission, you'll have to deal with it yourself. And that means your weapon setup gets a little bit limited. For people that don't like buying DLC or using DLC weapons, you might have a bit more difficult time. What I found to be almost a necessity when I was playing was having something that dealt AoE damage, like a grenade launcher. There's a lot of enemies, and having the AoE definitely helps. The AI can help you hold down a position really well, but they swarm you like an army of bees. So it doesn't take much to get overrun really quickly. Now, as far as the missions you decide to do, some will obviously be easier than others, just like it normally would. But if I had to be specific, any maps with a lot of moving around and a lot of funky objectives, they tend to be incredibly difficult with AI. For example, off the top of my head, Golden Grin Casino. That map is notorious for, well, just almost arbitrary objectives. You know, a bunch of random objectives for the sake of having objectives, it seems like. I gave that map a go and it wasn't very fun. I'm sure some brave soul out there can make it work, but I am not wasting my time. Same with maps like Heat Street, you know, something that's really big and open, you gotta do a lot of running around. You can either try to take it slow and hole up every chance you get and only move when the assault ends, or you could try to bum rush your way through, usually with dodge. But both methods tend not to work. You know, if you hold up too long, the enemy just swarms you and you don't go anywhere, you just end up wasting a lot of time. And Heat Street in particular is pretty difficult because, off the top of my head, I can't really think of any decent hiding spots you can hole up in. And again, if you try to rush through with dodge, you'll probably just end up alone, even if you do make it out alive in the first place, since the AI can't keep up with you. They tend to get slowed down by, well, pretty much everything, and they also have no way of countering specials, so getting tased and getting cloakered, basically something they can't get out of or avoid. The whole dumb AI situation. So, you know, those are the pluses, those are the cons. Now, so far, mostly I've just talked about the AI themselves. The AI, they haven't changed much, you know, they still serve the same purposes they usually do. But let's get to the bonuses. Don't worry, I didn't forget about the bonuses. But while they are nice to have, I wouldn't really say they're huge game changers. You know, some of them are stupidly strong as skills, such as giving the AI Inspire. You can't really go better than that. I think the skills I prefer having most are just the interaction speed buff, the reload speed buff, and the ammo pickup increase. I feel like these circumvent most of the more annoying things in the game, like sitting immobile to fix a drill. Now you can fix things super fast, open doors really fast. A lot of weapons have reload skills, but you need to invest points in your build to be able to acquire those, so sometimes you aren't willing to spend those points since you'd rather have it for survivability or, you know, something else. With the AI reload speed buff, you know, it's not as fast as the skills, but having faster reloads for every weapon you use is incredibly handy. The same reasoning goes for the ammo increase buff. You know, if you want more ammo, you either have to invest in ammo bags or ammo skills like fully loaded. Again, something you might not be willing to spend skill points on. So I feel like those are definitely the most handy to have, at least in my opinion. But again, I don't feel like they're exactly going to completely change how successful you are in a mission. It's mostly just quality of life stuff. And I almost forgot, Inspire too for the AI. Totally a necessity since sometimes the AI gets stuck in weird spots and they can't help you out if you go down. Or, you know, it's just they have a hard time helping you out if you do go down anyway. Having an instant revive button every 2 minutes can save you a lot of trouble. Most of the other bonuses, fairly straightforward, you know, health, armor, stuff like that. They're mostly there if you have a specialized setup you want to make even better. On a side note, one thing I wanted to mention is that piercing rounds, it sounds really nice on paper, giving AI the ability to shoot through shields and armor. But anytime I use it, I didn't really find it too crazy. You know, it's okay, but more often than not, I was the one that carried an anti-shield weapon, and in general, the AI's lack of offensive capability makes the skill feel a little wasted, you know? Especially when there are some of the other nicer skills. So between the pros and the cons of using the AI, I actually find that playing with a combo of AI and real people works pretty well. You know, going with all AI seemed to be fairly difficult in a lot of situations. Playing with one other person and 2 AI felt really nice since you can rely on the AI's tankiness as well as the bonuses they give you, but at the same time you have at least one real person to help out with the tedious stuff, like moving bags and doing the harder objectives that you can't really do alone. And with one more person, your killing potential is pretty much doubled as well, so you can deal with the spawn increase much easier than if you were alone. Again, since you have another person, they can fill a role that you couldn't before, like, say, a dedicated sniper killer, or someone to do hard CC when you get overrun. So overall, playing with the AI on some missions is doable, with 3 AI that is, but it will still be pretty difficult. And for some missions that have a lot of objectives and moving around, Golden Grin, Heat Street, I'd still prefer real human people to work with. So, you know, I can't really say that the AI is better than real people yet, just because they don't really work all that well, but they're getting there. They're definitely getting there. But so far, I've also been talking about this regarding 1 down difficulty. So if we were to talk about Death Wish difficulty, you know, if you don't even bother with 1 down, you just like to play Death Wish or below, I'd say 100% you don't need real people anymore. Like the AI, they're already hard to kill on 1 down. On Death Wish, they won't die short of being cloaked or tasered. And if you don't mind doing everything yourself, which, you know, it may take some more time, playing with AI is definitely not a bad way to go. So, if you're the type of person that prefers to play alone, maybe you just don't like dealing with other people, or for technical reasons, like maybe you have unreliable internet, playing with AI is not a bad option for you. Playing with solely AI, that is. Anything on Death Wish and below, I definitely give a 2 thumbs up for AI, because they're just perfect for every situation. You know, they won't ever die. They'll be right as rain. But playing 1 down, you know, I'd still kind of prefer real people sometimes. It's a bit of a toss-up. Some maps, you'll do just fine with AI. Some maps, you'll find it to be much more difficult. Give it a go, see what you like, and, well, I don't know, give me your own opinions of it.